This market is not very fun right now. The world's waiting for the elections.
I think that is probably one of the biggest reasons.
If I was a buyer in this market, I'd be all over it because... Hello and welcome to the Monday Market Minute. I'm here with Matt the Bulldog Bollinger and Ryan the Rhino.fitzgerald. My name is just John Smith and welcome to our Monday Market Minute. Guys, we could sit here and spew all kinds of stats out, all kinds of things, but basically in my opinion, this market is not very fun right now because basically I think the world's waiting for the elections. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of people on standstill, want to see what happens after the election, and they're just hitting pause for a while, and it's definitely slowing the market down.
Matt?
I would agree. I think things are feeling like they're a little bit locked up because people want to know what's going to happen. I don't know that anything necessarily is going to change so much that it's going to positively or negatively affect somebody's prospects for buying real estate right now, but I think that is probably one of the biggest reasons.
If I was a buyer in this market, I'd be all over it because I think if interest rates do come out, prices are going to go up, competition's going to be tougher. Right now, we've got houses sitting on the market longer than they have in years, and you might actually be able to negotiate a great deal for yourself. Any thought on that?
I would agree with that, and I think that there's less competition of buyers if there's a bunch of people sitting on the sideline waiting for some big, announcement or whatever they think is going to happen. I'd rather compete with fewer people for a property. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what we always say. If the right time is when you're ready to buy, don't try to time a market. No. If you're waiting on something, you're going to wait and wait and wait. And then like you guys are saying, if you end up in more competition, any benefit that you got via interest rate or anything else that caused you to wait is going to be outweighed by the competition and offering over asking.
So I don't want to get too political here, and so I'm just not going to name candidate's name, but you got one candidate who's offering down payment assistance at a large number. I mean, there are some things that have to qualify for that. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know the details well enough to speak to it intelligently, but I think that
when has that ever stopped us before?
That's true, so I'll go forward with it. So I think that there is a pretty long wait time even on the plan for the down payment assistance. I think that they could implement some things that are smaller along the way that may have an impact that happens sooner, but the $25,000 or whatever it is that has been thrown out there, I think that there's rent has to be paid for like 2 years or something like that. I mean, it's not an immediate change. So I think if that's what somebody's waiting for, that's not the person that's in the market right now anyway.
Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there still down payment assistance money available?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think waiting based on an election or a major event and waiting for that is crazy because there's always things going on. First off, there's always down payment assistance programs that are always available. Right now, we have some of the very beneficial ones. The Lighthouse program that's been around for about a year now. The last two iterations of that still have money available. So if it's the right time for you to buy now, and everything else can get worked out later. If rates do go down after the election and stuff, we can look at refinancing. But I think anybody who is really like you said, Matt, if they're really in the market, they're not going to be waiting. If they want to wait and hear what happens with the election, they're not really in the market. Right. And so just think about it. Yes, the election is going to happen in 2 weeks, but whoever wins isn't going to be office for a few months.
Right.
And then if they have some policy that's going to help home buyers get into homes.
It could be months or years.
It could be years down the road from that. So what are we waiting for?
Real estate is more local anyway, and I think that like what you're talking about, those programs, aren't they run through the county?
Yeah, Pima County Housing Authority has great programs ongoing all the time.
Yeah.
Matt, in closing, one more thing about the market?
Well, I think that there's a lot of things that are just very, personal to somebody's position. Do they want to rent, pay somebody else? Do they want to try to buy something for themselves? I think as far as it relates to the election, it's just probably part of what is making people wait is that it's a pretty contentious environment politically. And so I think people want to know at least what's going to happen going forward and whether or not that's going to affect the purchase now, 6 months from now, a year from now, nobody really knows. But I think that having that knowledge as to who's going to be in office, what that's going to look like. And it's not just the White House, it's Congress also. So, because that's where a lot of those things originate. So I think that now's a good time to buy. It's as good a time to buy now as any time has been in the last couple of years. I would rather not compete. That's what I would say.
Yep.
I would say the last thing would be the stat I shared in our meeting a couple weeks ago is for 7 out of the last 8 presidential elections, home values increased after the presidential election.
Yeah.
So the 1 year being 2008.
Yeah.
So why wait to see home values go up after the election or just as competition comes in like we've been talking about? If it's the right time for you, it's the right time to buy.
Fantastic. I do want to close with one little stat that is always my favorite as a barometer of the market. It looks like we had 597 price changes. Wow. That should tell you a little something. So as always, we could get a hold of Ryan Fitzgerald through Prosperity Mortgage. He's always our expert when it comes time for an opinion of the market in the financial side. And of course, Smith & Bollinger always would like you to consider us. I'm John Smith with Smith & Bollinger. Thank you for joining us today. We're out.